Hello there. It seems that the UK could make a considerable impact on world markets just by labelling its products made in Britain. According to research from Barclays, people around the world are happy to pay a premium for goods made in Britain, reports The Express. In fact, the extra that people are prepared to pay could be as much as 22%. 80,060 people from France, Germany, the Republic of Ireland, India, China, the UAE, the USA and South Africa were surveyed, with British food attracting the highest premium of 22%. Then came cars at 10%, clothes at 9% and alcohol also at 9%. Baihas Baghdadi, Global Head of Trade and Working Capital at Barclays, said, "The picture continues to look positive for Britain's exporters, with international consumers going out of their way to buy British. Our research shows that some of the biggest opportunities lie in emerging markets, where British craftsmanship is most valued. The prize is substantial, and exporters should be looking to highlight the provenance of British products to take best advantage." And this is not a flash in the pan either. Back in 2014, Barclays did a similar exercise and said that when consumers in 8 key export markets see the Union flag on a product, their inclination to buy increases. This is especially true in new and emerging markets, where 2/3 of consumers, 64%, would be more inclined to purchase a product carrying the Union flag. That 2014 report went on to say that 31% of consumers in new and emerging markets have knowingly paid a premium for products from Great Britain. The same figure for developed economies is just 14%. So, it looks like a post-Brexit trade push for brand Britain in emerging markets is in order. Now, there has been much talk recently of some sort of Westminster power grab of lawmaking ability returning to the UK after Brexit. The claim by those in the devolved assemblies, such as the SNP and Plaid Cymru, is that Westminster, taking the powers returned to the UK by the EU after Brexit, is a nasty power grab designed to do them down. But the truth is that those devolved assemblies never had those powers in the first place. And they were also very happy when a foreign power in the form of the EU held the reins over those powers anyway. So in fact the reverse is true. This is a power grab by the devolved assemblies, not by Westminster. But what really puzzles me is that a party like Plaid has only 1 MEP but 4 MPs, so devolving power from the EU to Westminster actually gives them more say anyway. And looking at the SNP, they have 2 MEPs and 34 MPs, so their say is greatly enhanced by a return of powers to Westminster. Now to the crux of the matter. Do you think those like the SNP will use any extra powers given to them to help the UK or to try and further divide it? I'll let you decide on that one. Westminster needs to take those powers back initially, then plan on how to devolve as the UK develops. The truth is that this is an opportunistic power grab by the likes of the SNP that should be resisted, or we will count the cost later. But it looks like the UK government will back down today and hand the vast majority of those powers over, making the biggest possible rod for its own back in years to come, as the devolved assemblies use those powers to try and keep their economies as tightly aligned to the EU as they possibly can, whatever the impact on the rest of the UK, including their own countries. Moving on, according to the latest population data from the Office for National Statistics, the UK saw the population rise by 244,000 due to net migration in the year to September 2017. This, says the ONS statisticians, is at the same level as in 2014. In simple terms, that means the number of people in the UK grew by about the same number as those that live in Wolverhampton due to net immigration. We also have to bear in mind that over 500,000 people, that's 578,000, came into the country and 334,000 left. Predictably, much is being made by news outlets like the BBC that the number of EU nationals leaving the UK has increased and the number of EU nationals coming into the UK has decreased, presumably in an attempt to brand this as a new racist post-Brexit Britain. The trouble with that assessment is that the number of non-EU people coming into the country has increased. Looking at the last 10 years of net migration, you can see that the levels are still well above that seen in the 2012 era. Does that mean we were more xenophobic back then? The blue line shows the number of people coming in, and the green line the number of people leaving, with the red and orange bars showing the net effect. But the big issue here is not the numbers. It is the effect they have on the UK infrastructure. Before the year started, did we know how many would be coming? How many of them would be children? How many might need specialist care? Did we build the houses, hospitals, roads, shops, schools, waterworks, power stations, etc., 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 to cater for them? And if we are bringing in so many highly qualified people, then why is the NHS claimed to be short of 100,000 doctors, nurses and healthcare support workers? Even though, according to Full Fact, talking about the number of nurses in England, the number of full-time equivalent nurses and health visitors has increased by around 5,700 since October 2010, after initially falling in 2011 and 2012. The number of midwives has increased by 2,300 over the same period. Maybe the truth is that, in the long term, we are importing more patients than we are health workers, because there is a global shortage of health workers, not just a UK one. As an aside, let's see what the World Health Organization says about this. Projections developed by WHO and the World Bank point to the creation of approximately 40 million new health and social care jobs globally to 2030, and to the need for 18 million additional health workers, primarily in low-resource settings, to attain high and effective coverage of the broad range of health services necessary to ensure healthy lives for all. Not sure how the UK, as a WHO signatory, helps this by insisting on importing as many healthcare workers as we can, just so we can say we've got a diverse NHS. The best thing we could do for the planet is to train more health workers than we actually need. Why the left isn't insisting on that, I don't know. Well, I do. As usual, the progressives are more interested in diversity than outcomes. Anyway, back to net migration. These figures will always fluctuate, and the less control we have, or maybe more importantly, the low level of control our government chooses to exercise, the more of an adverse impact it will have on those that already live here, wherever they came from. Also, many people will be quietly pleased that net migration has fallen. After all, that was why many of the 17.4 million people that voted to leave did so. And those, like lefty news presenters, need to remember that. We really do need a proper, mature, open national debate on immigration beyond the progressive calls for ever more open borders or you're a racist talk. What do you think? Please leave a comment below. Thank you. Please do like and share this video, and also subscribe to my channel. And when subscribing, please do remember to press on the little bell next to the subscribe button. That way you'll get an alert every single time I put up a new video. Thank you very much for watching.